Your screenplay sucks.
Well, thank you. Could you be more specific?
Well, I don't like it. It's boring.
In this video, I'm going to talk about how to...
I wanna talk.
Well, sorry. As I said, in this video, I'm going to talk about...
We
are going to talk about how to give constructive feedback
and how not
to give feedback.
Stay tuned.
Hi guys, my name is Maria and I'm one of the creators behind Another Character, so I hope you're doing good. What I have realized when it comes to writing is that people tend to look at giving feedback differently. And I thought that I should share what I had learned regarding giving feedback. But before we go ahead, if you like screenwriting and storytelling, please consider subscribing, that would be awesome. And don't forget to hit that little notification button so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. My first tip on giving feedback is be specific. By just saying
your screenplay totally sucks, man,
it doesn't really help. It's really hard for someone who has written a screenplay to actually get something out of it if you don't give them examples. So by you saying I don't like it, it's not helpful at all. Everyone has the right of their own opinion. And if you don't like anything, that's okay, because everything you cannot like. There are some movies and books I don't like because it's not my thing, and that's okay. But please give me some ideas or examples and help me in how to improve my screenplay. Like, give example of why you think it's annoying or why you think something is bad, because I think there's always some way you can find something in each screenplay that you do like. And if you think everything is bad, well, you still could find some examples and helpful tools for the writer to actually get a chance to develop their story. Well, it's the tone. Still not helping. So you don't like the tone, but what about the characters? What about the conflict? Does each scene have a conflict? Like, you can help me out. So it's not your job to sit there and like, okay, I don't like this script, I just should move on. Because you can still help someone out. Even if you don't like the genre, even if you don't like the story itself, you can still look at it and like, hey, you can improve this to make it a better story. You can still help people out. My next tip is concrete examples. And I think I have been talking about this somewhat, but what I mean is that if you say, your dialogue sounds weird, I will make the screenwriter look at the dialogue, but they won't know for sure what dialogue you mean. So when you say your dialogue sounds weird, give examples of what exact dialogue that sounds weird. And now we're getting to my next tip. Add comments in the actual script. And what I mean by that is that it's awesome if you're using the same software. Like, me and Michelle do this all the time. Like, I would send her a copy of my screenplay in the final draft project, which means that she can open up the project because she also has final draft. And she can look at it and she can, in the screenplay, add comments. And then when she's done, send it back to me. And we actually have like a shared Dropbox. So we have like a folder which says feedback. So I can just tell her, okay, I'm done with the feedback. And then she can open up the same file on her computer and she can see all my comments. And if you don't have the same software, that's fine. You can always add comments in a PDF. And that's actually what we used to do early on. So I would add comments on her PDF and she could open up that and see the comments. My next tip is read through the script several times. I know, sometimes it takes a while to read through a script. Like, imagine if you're reading through a script that's a feature on 90 pages, and then you have to do it all over again, so maybe you don't really have that time. But what I mean is that it's a great way to like actually focus on the story itself when you read through it like the first time, and you don't have to focus on all the comments you're gonna add. And you can actually just breathe the air of the story itself. And after that, you can read through again, and then you can actually add all those comments you want to add. Are you still there? Yes, where else would I be? Yeah, I wasn't really talking to you, but good to know. And my next tip is be general. Like after reading, make sure you add a general comment, like what you think of the story in general, what you think of the characters, what's your first impression of the story, and like what you think of it. And I usually do that. Like I add a last comment at the end of the script, and I usually write like, "Oh, I really like the idea, and but I think you might need to improve this or that." So I just give like my opinion because I think the writer wants to know, did you like it? And I mean, that might be helpful. Like, did she actually like the script? What was the impression? What did she take from the script? Like, does she actually like the idea? Because I know myself, like, if I let someone read my script and then I want to know, like I would probably know, like, yeah, I might need to change some stuff and I need to work on it a bit. But like, what I'm always curious about if the person who read the script actually like the actual idea, because then I think there's always something there, and then you can always work on it and make it better. And my next tip is very important. Be kind. Someone has trusted you with their baby. So be gentle and be honest, but state it in a nice way. So instead of saying, the character is kind of boring, you could say, the character X, I don't really get him because he shows up here and there and I don't really know what he does to the story. Like, is he supposed to be an obstacle for the main character, or is he supposed to help the main character? Like, what reason have you had for putting him in the screenplay? So maybe you could give him a bigger purpose and actually put him in more in the screenplay to like make that character develop and look at the character's arc or something like that. This is just an example, but hopefully you get my point. And then you have hopefully given the writer something that's gonna help them develop their story instead of just being rude. So this is somewhat related to my next tip. Be positive. Give examples on what's actually good in the screenplay. And if you don't pinpoint a great line or a great scene, it may be a chance that the writer may erase it or remove it from the screenplay. Because if you write like, oh my god, this is so good, I really love this character, or this scene is hilarious, it made me laugh so hard, then the writer's gonna understand, oh, this scene is really good. Because if you don't tell them, they may like, maybe this wasn't that funny, you know? So tell people when they do something good so they will keep it. Because it's also good to not always focus on the bad stuff, because there's so much stuff that's great out there. And if someone do something great, like if they write something great, why not tell them so they know it, right? Sometimes you may not have to focus on all the details, which is my next tip. Because, for example, if the screenwriter is not really familiar with the formatting rules and they have done some errors, and you may like write 3 examples on where those errors occur, and then when you keep reading and you see that the errors keep going on and on and on, like several times the same mistake, you can always write like, you may have to check out the formatting rules because they are on several spots, and I mean, write it in a nice way. I think this is important because if you like head over your feedback and the screenwriter sees like it's all red with all those errors on the formatting rules, and you are like telling each stuff like over and over again, they may feel like they got kicked in the gut. However, I think that if you have been asked like, can you check my formatting rules because I'm not really good at it and I need to learn, that's another thing. But I also think that, for me at least, I think it's, you want to know your errors, but you don't want the other one to be kind of like snorky and like, see how good I am at finding your errors. Like, if I have done like the same mistake over and over again, I'm gonna know like, okay, so the character, when I introduce them, they have to be in capital letters. So if I have done that wrong one time, I'm for sure will look over it again, at least for me, because I want to develop, you know, I'm trying to like learn stuff. So yeah, but you don't want a beginner to feel bad. You want to help them. You want to make them better and not choke them. My last tip is be honest. By you saying it's good, and that's all you say, that's not really gonna be helpful, because each screenwriter, they know that not everything can be perfect. Like, there's always something you can improve. So by you saying it's good, it's not gonna really help them. So by being specific and telling them what you like and don't like and what you think is good and what you think needs to be improved, that's gonna be more helpful for them to improve their story. And like I said, be kind always. At the end of the day, it's the writer's story. So they can decide, like, okay, I don't agree on this feedback. I'm not gonna do anything about it. That's fine. I mean, you are the king of your story.
Exactly. I'm the king of the world.
And if you get feedback and you don't agree with something that the person said, you don't have to change it. But try to listen, and like, if you have given someone feedback and they don't really want to listen, what are you gonna do? You can't do anything. You tried, and they can do whatever they want to with that feedback. I hope you got something out of this video so that you can actually help your writing friends and give them awesome feedback, because feedback is hard. I think it takes practice to learn how to give good feedback so that the writer actually gets something out of it. And if you want to learn how the revision modes work in Final Draft, watch this video. If you like this video, please hit that like button. And please consider subscribing. Keep on writing. Stay safe. I'll see you in the next one. Hejdå!